PlayStation 2 was a console I still hold dear to me today. Back when it was the only console I owned, I enjoyed minigames such as Spyro, Pac-Man World 2, War of the Monsters, Lego Star Wars 2, Need for Speed Most Wanted, Godzilla Save the Earth, and many others, but there wasn't minigames back then as integrated or complex as the Sly Cooper series. With the games being a staple of Sony and still being featured as an avatar on the PlayStation 4, many other E10 and up games didn't even compare. At first, the original game from the series received poor sales, overshadowed by the other titles such as Ratchet & Clank and Jak and Daxter: The Precursor Legacy back in 2002. The game was able to achieve 400,000 in sales a year after release to allow it to be included in Sony's greatest hits line. I believe it was fairly underrated at the time. As a kid, playing the original trilogy, Sly Cooper and the Thievius Raccoonus, Sly 2 Band of Thieves, and Sly 3 Honor Among Thieves, I didn't understand most concepts in the games, but going back recently and playing them showed me how some parts, I do admit, were rather cheesy or corny. It also showed me how dark some ideas were in the games. How the character which the story revolves around, Sly, witnesses his parents' murder by the menacing rival Clockwork, which caused Sly to be put into an orphanage. How Rajan, a tiger who had been a part of the black market, joined a gang known as the Claw Gang and began producing spice, an illegal drug which you see used on Murray, one of Sly's sidekicks, in Sly 2's mission, Operation Trojan Tank. How another villain, a prison warden by the name of Contessa, gets married to a wealthy figure, and then her husband suddenly dies, which many have assumed implies she killed him. How Contessa also learns hypnotism and plans to use it on her inmates, so they will confess where they stash their loot. That's pretty sadistic. Clearly, Sly Cooper is no stranger to darker topics. That is one reason it is so memorable though. It truly is a grand journey that I'd recommend to anyone to experience if they haven't already, if they own a PS2. The 3 originals were also remastered for the PlayStation 3, so if anyone owns that too, make sure to buy it. Out of the 4 games the series has produced though, Sly 2 Band of Thieves is definitely the best according to most, including myself. Not only did it improve from the original, it pretty much took everything out and recreated everything, set the stakes higher, added more character development, made a compelling and genius story, but mainly, it created a whole new system that fit right into Sly's chemistry, the Heist system. PayDay 2, a game released originally for the Windows, PlayStation 3, and Xbox 360 in 2013, centers around heists as the players can perform them solo or with friends. Heists can be many things, from basic robberies of banks, to rigging elections, to prison breakouts. Players can even choose how to approach the heist, quietly or loud. One player may go in guns blazing and get the cops to call tasers and juggernauts in. On the other hand, another player may go silently with a suppressed pistol, taking out the cameras and guards first, and then going in for the money. PayDay 2 shows how heists, in games remember, can be fun and challenging. Grand Theft Auto 5, a game everyone knows for its controversy, featured heists both in story mode and online. It displays how coordinated you have to be to come out successful, and how one slip can mean a game over. Players take part in setup missions, and then are put into heists with different roles. The interesting thing about Grand Theft Auto Online's heist is you need 4 players for most. With only 3, the heist cannot be done. It is realistic, but can be frustrating when the only people online are 8-year-olds or people who try too hard to be gangsters. Nevertheless, it truly makes heists seem as hard as they should be. Sly 2, which may not be as difficult or elaborate as PayDay 2 or Grand Theft Auto 5, still excels in its heist process. Take the first heist for example, called Operation Thunderbeak. After Sly 1, where Sly defeated his family's arch nemesis, which killed his parents, Clockwork, Sly realizes it couldn't have been that easy. Clockwork, who fused his body in metal to prevent death of natural causes, wasn't dead. His hate chip, as they call it, wasn't destroyed. With the chip intact, Clockwork would live on. Eventually, the gang, Claw Gang, which I mentioned earlier, decided to use Clockwork's disembodied parts to speed up drug production, which they focused on. Sly knew that he needed to end Clockwork before he was rebuilt in some way. So to start his quest, he targeted Dimitri, an iguana, and nightclub owner that distributed the spice drug for cash. On the side though, Dimitri used the clockwork tail feathers as printing plates to print money. Sly needed to steal the feathers. That is when Bentley, Murray, and Sly, the Cooper gang, come up with Operation Thunderbeak. Now, I'm going to go into great detail on the heist, so if you want to experience it yourself, leave the video and come back after you've played. I know it's kind of late for that, since I've already spoiled a lot, but that is your warning. Now, I separated the heist into 3 parts, which I call the 3-part structure: reconnaissance, infiltration, and then finally, execution. In reconnaissance, the player must do 4 missions using only Sly Cooper in this heist specifically. The missions are as follows. Mission number 1, satellite sabotage. Sly repositions 3 of Dimitri's satellite dishes so that Bentley, the brains of the operation, can access Dimitri's computers and info. Mission number 2, breaking and entering. Sly sneaks through a wine cellar to get sight of Dimitri's printing press room. He then takes some recon photos of the clockwork tail feathers. Mission number 3, bug Dimitri's office. Sly must carry a bugged painting to Dimitri's office, which in turn allows Bentley to hear Dimitri's conversations. Follow Dimitri is mission number 4. Sly follows Dimitri to find where Dimitri is hiding. Next is infiltration. This is where the Cooper gang actually begins setting things into place for the heist. It contains 5 parts. Part 1, water pump destruction. Murray sabotages Dimitri's aqua pump. Part 2, silence the alarms. Murray destroys Dimitri's alarm horns. Part 3, theater pickpocketing. Sly sneaks into the theater near the nightclub to shut down the security in Dimitri's printing press room. Part 4, moonlight rendezvous. Sly chases after Constable Neela, another character in the game, to gain access to Dimitri's nightclub. Part 5, disco demolitions. Bentley destroys a disco ball in the nightclub to weaken the moorings on the nightclub's giant peacock sign. Finally, the last part is execution, which is the heist. It is spread into 2 parts. The first part is Operation Thunderbeak. The whole Cooper gang work together to bring down the giant peacock sign. This allows access into Dimitri's printing press room. The second part is printing press duel. Sly goes in and confronts Dimitri in the printing press room. After taking care of Dimitri, Sly recovers the clockwork tail feathers. The title of this video is Sly 2, the most powerful heist in video games. I say heist, not heists. The game is overall one heist, which is cut into smaller heists. Mini heists, if you will. Why did I talk about the mini heist Operation Thunderbeak, though, one may ask? It brings a better picture of the 3-part structure I wanted to talk about. It truly is a cool system to engage stealing, fighting, and stealth gameplay in a game which happens to be about thieves. Its way of executing a heist is a lot better than Grand Theft Auto 5 and PayDay 2's way. Grand Theft Auto 5 is the closest to matching Sly 2's system, I think. The 3-part system is there, but more convoluted. In Grand Theft Auto Online, for example, the reconnaissance and infiltration parts feel the same and much shorter, both combined being about 1 to 5 missions. That is about half of Sly 2's number of setups. It is true GTA 5's heists are a lot more difficult, especially if done on hard. This can make it longer, but not in an entertaining way. If the setups keep having to be redone, it's only frustrating for the player, not exciting. With the reduction of setups, it makes it feel as though you aren't playing that big of a role in the heist. You are only there because you can and are good at the skills needed to complete the heist. Because of this, it is much less rewarding to finish a heist, no matter the difficulty. On the other hand, in Sly 2, Band of Thieves, after each heist where the player had to carry out many missions, it feels like you earn the clockwork part you receive. It is much more satisfying. Even though at times, the setups can be tedious because the player does many of the same tasks many times, such as pickpocket or follow. But with that factor, it can make the player feel even more deserving of the part. It makes the player feel so accomplished, as opposed to a GTA Online heist. PayDay 2. While I love the game for its innovation and fun and exhilarating gameplay, I feel Overkill Software's heist falls short. even after doing the big bank heist and getting over $1 million. Though it was nice, I didn't feel that fulfilled in contrast to a heist in SLY 2. The setups give a player that feeling of fulfillment at the end of the heist, and with setups being completely cut from PayDay 2, the feeling is fairly rare. No setups may have been for the greater good, but to me, it's a missed opportunity. Another factor that puts SLY 2 ahead of other contesters is the many outcomes. The ending for each heist is the same every time the player plays it, but SLY 2 isn't like most. Most games only have the player fail if a player dies or something goes unfavorable in the heist, but in SLY 2, players lose in specific heists no matter what. In the episode, The Predator Awakes, the player is trying to get the Clockwork Heart. Things don't go to plan, and in the end, the police force arrive and are able to capture SLY and Murray. This leaves the player with only Bentley in the beginning of the next heist, which is about getting SLY and Murray out of prison. Though the sequence with only Bentley is pretty short, it shows how isolated a player feels without the other members. It shows that the other heist members really do matter in the grand scheme of things. With all the great things the SLY Cooper games bring to the table, great characters, genius story, good level design, the most important aspect it gave birth to was the heist system and the three-part structure. It really is the greatest heist of all time in video game history. Alright, that's all for this video. I hope you guys enjoyed. I put a lot of time and effort into the script and into getting all these shots for this video. I really hope you enjoyed. I hope you agree with me, and let me know if you don't agree with me with my idea of SLY 2 being so impactful in its heist system. If you don't agree with me, let me know in the comments. But for now, that's all for this video. I hope you guys enjoyed. Also, you may have noticed I didn't talk about SLY 4 too much. That's because I actually haven't played it, and I heard it's fairly bad. I honestly don't even want to play it, because the original trilogy was just perfect alone and didn't need an extra game. So that's why I didn't talk about that one as much. But anyway, back to the main topic. That's all for this video. I hope you guys enjoyed, and I'll see you guys in the next video. Let me know what you thought of this video. Peace out.